The stranger, the shot, and the car. She heard the gunshot before she saw the blood. It wasn't part of the training. The air at the shooting range was already thick with gunpowder, but this shot sounded different, sharper, out of place. Maya dropped the rag she was using to clean the vending machine and spun toward the sound. Lane 7. Her eyes caught movement, a man stumbling backward, hands pressed to his side, his gun clattering to the ground. Then came the screaming. People ducked behind barriers. A woman cried out. A man cursed and ran for the exit. But Maya froze, only for a second, before instinct took over. She ran. The man collapsed just as she reached him. Blood was soaking through his shirt, dark and fast. His eyes were wide, not with pain, not yet, but with disbelief, like he couldn't believe this was happening to him. "Stay with me," Maya said as she dropped to her knees, ignoring the sticky mess on the floor. She tore off her hoodie, pressing it hard against the wound. His breathing was fast, shallow. Panic had taken over. "Hey, look at me," she said, leaning close. "You're okay. I've got you. Help is coming." He blinked, trying to focus. I don't even know your name." "You don't need to," she said. "Just breathe." Her hands trembled, but her voice didn't. She had seen worse in her life. Hospital waiting rooms, blood reports, a mother coughing up bits of lung. Death wasn't unfamiliar to her, but she refused to let it win today. The paramedics arrived within minutes. Someone must have called 911 the second the shot rang out. They pushed Maya aside gently and took over, but not before one of them looked her in the eye and said, "You might have just saved his life." She stood in a daze as they wheeled him out, 1,000 questions swirling in her head. Who shot him? Was it an accident? Why hadn't anyone been arrested? But as quickly as it began, the chaos cleared. The range owner gave a rushed statement to the police and closed up shop for the day. Maya wasn't even questioned, just thanked and sent home. She took the bus back to her one-bedroom apartment, hands still stained with blood. 3 days later, the morning was humid, thick with the smell of the nearby bakery firing up its ovens. Maya tied her curls back, grabbed a trash bag from under the sink, and stepped outside. She froze. A black Rolls-Royce, polished, sleek, undeniably expensive, was parked outside her building. It looked like it had taken a wrong turn from another universe. Here, cars like that didn't exist, not in this part of town. She narrowed her eyes. Maybe someone was lost. Then the passenger door opened, and her heart dropped. The man from the shooting range stepped out, alive, standing tall in a crisp navy suit and Italian shoes. Not a trace of pain or weakness. He looked rich, powerful, untouchable. Maya blinked. "What the?" He smiled. "Maya, right?" "How do you know where I live?" she asked, taking a step back. He raised his hands in mock surrender. "Don't worry. I didn't stalk you. I asked around. It's not hard to find someone who saves your life." She folded her arms, trying to act braver than she felt. "You were shot. You almost died." "I remember," he said. "That's why I'm here?" She hesitated. "You could have sent a thank you card." He laughed softly. "You think this is about saying thank you?" Maya's stomach turned. "What is it about then?" He nodded to the car. "We should talk. Somewhere private." "No. Talk here." He studied her for a moment, then said, "The shooting wasn't an accident, and I wasn't just a random target. Neither were you." Flashback. 2 days before the shooting, Maya had almost called in sick. Her ankle ached from her night shift cleaning office buildings, and she had barely slept. But the shooting range paid a few extra bucks for weekend maintenance work, and she needed every cent. The last of her mother's hospital debt still lingered like an unpaid curse. She remembered seeing the man that day, tall, focused, practicing alone in lane 7. He didn't smile, didn't chat, but he wasn't rude either, just focused, like a man with something to prove. When she emptied the trash near him, he'd nodded once. That was it. Nothing about him screamed danger. In fact, he looked like he didn't belong there. Too polished, too clean-cut for a place like that. And then the shot came from the far right, from a blind angle. Not from him. At the time, Maya assumed it was a misfire, but now, standing on her cracked sidewalk with this same man looking at her like she was part of something bigger, something she didn't understand, she felt a chill run through her spine. Back in the present, Maya swallowed hard. "You think they were aiming at you?" "I know they were," he said. "And I think they're still watching me, which means they could be watching you too." She took another step back. "What the hell are you talking about?" The man looked over his shoulder briefly, then said, "My name is Elijah Kane. I'm not just some guy with a gun. I'm the CEO of Kane Tech, or at least I was, until someone tried to kill me." She stared. "Kane Tech? As in the defense company?" He nodded. "Top of the Forbes list last year. You don't look like a guy who'd end up bleeding at a public shooting range." "I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to be dead in a high-rise office, but I changed plans at the last minute. Whoever tried to kill me wasn't ready for that." Maya blinked, trying to keep up. "And you think I got caught in the middle? I know you did. That bullet was meant for me. But there's something else." He leaned in slightly. "You're not just some janitor, are you?" Her heart dropped. "Excuse me?" "I ran your name," he said quietly, "and I found a sealed juvenile record. Foster care, multiple homes, one incident at a youth detention center that got covered up. You don't just freeze and then run toward a gunshot, unless you've seen worse." Maya clenched her jaw. "That was a long time ago, and none of it matters." "It does now, because you saved me, which makes you a target too." She shook, her head, voice cracking. No, I'm just trying to live a quiet life. I work, I go home. That's it. I don't want to be involved in whatever this is." "You're already involved, Maya." Then he opened the car door again. Inside was a folder, thick, labeled, Project Glassfire, Eyes Only. He handed it to her. "You deserve to know what you stepped into," he said. "This folder will explain everything, but once you read it, there's no going back." Maya stared down at it. The weight of it felt like a decision, one she didn't ask for. "What's in it?" she asked quietly. He looked her dead in the eyes. "The reason someone wants me dead, and why you're the key to stopping them." Cliffhanger. A gust of wind blew down the street, rustling the papers inside the folder as Maya held it. She could turn around, go back inside, pretend none of this ever happened. But something inside her, something long buried, flickered awake. Curiosity, rage, the need to know. Because deep down, she wasn't just a janitor. She never had been, and if Elijah Kane was telling the truth, the life she thought was safe had already been ripped away. She stepped toward the car and closed the door behind her. The file that changed everything. The folder trembled in Maya's hands as the car pulled away from the curb. Elijah Kane drove in silence. His sunglasses hid his expression, but his jaw was tight, focused, like a man already 10 steps ahead in a game she didn't know the rules of. Maya glanced again at the folder in her lap. Project Glassfire. Eyes Only. The name meant nothing to her. Yet somehow her fingerprints were now on a document that men would kill for. Her voice finally cracked through the silence. "You're not really a CEO, are you?" Elijah didn't look at her. "I was. Until last week." "What happened?" "Last week," he sighed. "Someone broke into a restricted server at Kane Tech headquarters. Not to steal money, not to blackmail. They wanted one thing, Project Glassfire." Maya flipped open the folder. Inside, printed emails, surveillance images, schematics, and a single picture of Elijah shaking hands with a U.S. senator, both men smiling, unaware of the storm building behind them. "Elijah, what is this?" she asked. His voice dropped. Glassfire is a prototype AI defense system. It can take control of drones, satellites, and weapons anywhere in the world, simultaneously. It was meant to be a failsafe, but if it falls into the wrong hands, it becomes a weapon, Maya whispered. No, he corrected. It becomes every weapon. She swallowed hard, staring at the photo again. And you think whoever tried to kill you was after this? I don't think, he said grimly. I know. Flashback, 1 week ago. Elijah had watched the footage 10 times. 16 a.m., a shadowy figure moved through the top floor of Kaintech's secure server lab. No face, no ID, just silent efficiency. They knew the codes, the layout, the camera blind spots. It was someone on the inside. He had gone straight to his board, asked for a full internal investigation. They'd smiled, nodded. Then, days later, he found a bug in his apartment. His car brakes were cut, and someone leaked footage of him at the range, as if setting him up. The attempt on his life hadn't been random. It had been approved. Back in the present, Maya flipped to the next page in the folder. There, in black ink, was something that made her stomach twist. Targeted civilians, potential risks, Mem Jansen, former foster child, record sealed, physically responsive under stress, proximity to Kane incident. Unknown third-party witness. Her name, on a classified list. You already knew I was in danger, she said, voice shaking. And you still came to my house. I needed your help. I'm not military. I'm not a spy. I clean vending machines and scrub bullet casings out of bathroom sinks. You're not just that, Maya. He finally looked at her. You ran toward the danger. When everyone else ducked and ran, you didn't even think. That's not something you can teach. That's survival. That's instinct. She stared at him, bitter laughter rising. You know what I really am? Tired, broke. I owe 2,000 in hospital bills and eat rice for dinner 4 times a week. I've been surviving my whole damn life. I don't want to keep proving I can. Silence. Then Elijah said quietly, what if I told you that helping me could make all of that disappear? She raised a brow. Is that a bribe? It's a choice, he said. I need someone I can trust, not someone tied to the company. Someone invisible to the people watching me. And if I say no? He didn't answer right away. Then he said, then you better find somewhere to hide, because someone already knows your name. An hour later, hidden downtown office. The building didn't have a sign, just a steel door and a retinal scanner. Elijah's scan opened it with a soft beep, revealing a room lined with digital monitors and encrypted servers. Maya stood frozen in the doorway. What is this place? My off-grid backup. Everything here is clean, no bugs, no trackers. Only 2 people know it exists. Who's the other? My brother, Elijah said. But he's been missing for 5 days. Maya's heart skipped. You think the people behind the shooting? I think they got to him before they got to me. She walked slowly to one of the desks. Images flickered across a screen. Blueprints, redacted names, and a satellite view of a facility she couldn't identify. Then something caught her eye. A woman's face, brown eyes, curly hair, identical to hers, but 10 years older. The photo was labeled Emerson Lyanne, deceased. Maya blinked. That's my mother's name. Elijah's eyes narrowed. Your mother? She died of lung disease when I was 13, Maya whispered. At least, I thought she did. Elijah moved to another monitor, pulled up an internal Kaintech personnel file. Maya's breath caught as the file loaded. There she was. Leanne Emerson, listed not as a civilian, but as a former systems engineer. Clearance level 4, Special Projects Division. She worked for you, Maya said, voice rising. She never told me. Elijah leaned in. This just got bigger. Maya could barely hear him. Her hands trembled. All those late nights, I Thought she was working overtime to keep us afloat. She was working on this, on glass fire. Elijah nodded. And I think she died for it. Flashback. 10 years ago, Maya remembered the coughing fits, the faint blue around her mother's lips, the way the hospital staff had always avoided eye contact. But there had been no funeral. Just a sealed white envelope delivered to her foster. Home, 1 page, typed. She fought hard. We did everything we could. I'm sorry for your loss. No autopsy. No death certificate, just silence, back to the present. I don't believe she died naturally, Maya said, eyes blazing. And if Tech buried her file, they buried something else too. Elijah nodded. Then we dig. Hours later, digging begins, with Elijah guiding her. Maya dove into the archives. Old servers, encrypted drives, video logs. She found emails from her mother to a mysterious name, R. Shoreline. Subject lines like, "They're accelerating testing. It's not stable. We need to shut it down." And then the last message, sent 2 days before her death. "If anything happens to me, protect my daughter. She's smarter than they think." Maya's throat tightened. I never got that message. She probably didn't send it directly to you, Elijah said, but whoever this R. Shoreline is, they knew about you. They could be the reason you're still alive. Maya leaned back, exhausted. So now what? We find this person? Elijah hesitated. That's the problem, he said slowly. I think they found him first. He pulled up a news article. Local professor found dead in river. Foul play suspected. The photo was grainy but clear. Dr. Richard Shoreline, former data analyst for Tech, now accidentally drowned. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. They're erasing everyone who knew. Her mother's last message. The message on the screen froze Maya in place. You should have let him die. The letters glowed blood red against the black background, as if written in anger, or worse, revenge. Elijah was already pulling cords from the servers, killing power to the surveillance feed. They've found this place, he said through gritted teeth. We have 5 minutes, maybe less. Maya's breath came fast and shallow. How did they get a live feed of my house? They've had eyes on you longer than I thought, Elijah snapped. This was a warning, not just for me, for you. Maya glanced again at the screen just before it flickered off. Her little apartment, her cheap flower pot in the window, her world exposed. She whispered, They've been watching me this whole time. 3 hours later, safe house in the industrial district. The building was abandoned to most. But beneath the rust and concrete, Elijah had a hideout built like a bunker. Steel walls, blackout curtains, emergency generator, no internet, no outside contact. It was the only place he trusted now. Maya sat on the edge of a cot, wrapped in a threadbare blanket. Her fingers curled tightly around a flash drive Elijah had found, buried deep in the files her mother left behind. He slid a bottle of water toward her. You should rest. I can't, Maya murmured. Every time I close my eyes, I see. That message. They're trying to break you. It's working, she admitted. Then softly, what if I'm not strong enough for this? You don't get to ask that, Elijah said, kneeling in front of her. You already are. Maya stared at the flash drive. I want to see what's on it. He nodded. Then, let's find out. Flash drive contents. Inside were 4 encrypted files. 3 were labeled with code names, Talon 13 Glassfire, Corey Violet Storm. The 4th was a video. Maya's hand hovered over it. I need to see, she said, her voice almost a whisper. Elijah connected the drive to a secure laptop. The screen flickered. Then her mother appeared. Video log, Leanne Emerson. The recording was grainy. Leanne sat at a desk in a plain, windowless room. Her hair was shorter than Maya remembered. She looked tired, but focused. If you're watching this, Maya, it means I failed. It means I couldn't stop them in time. Maya's breath caught. The voice, the way her mother said her name, it pulled memories from deep places. I never wanted this life for you. Not the secrets, not the danger, but you need to know the truth. You're the only one left who can stop what's coming. Leanne glanced down, then back at the camera. Kaintek is building something called Violet Storm. Not glass fire, that's the decoy. Violet Storm is the real weapon. It can override any defense system, make AI-controlled drones go rogue, collapse. Economies in minutes. I tried to stop them. I failed. Elijah froze. She knew about Violet Storm before even I did. Leanne continued. I sent a copy of the core code to a man named Richard Shoreline. If he's dead, the backup is inside this flash drive. But it's locked with something only you can unlock, Maya. She leaned forward, as if speaking directly to her daughter. You used to draw a symbol when you were scared. Do you remember? Maya blinked. A memory surfaced. Her as a child, drawing the same strange swirl over and over in the corners of her notebooks. A loop, a dot, then a tail, like an abstract spiral. Elijah's eyes met hers. That could be the key. I'm sorry, I couldn't tell you sooner, Leanne said, her voice cracking. But I love you, Maya, I always have. No matter what happens next, stay alive. The video ended. Silence settled over the room like a shroud. Maya wiped at her face. Not even realizing she'd been crying. I thought she abandoned me, she whispered. All these years, I hated her for leaving me behind. She didn't leave you, Elijah said gently. She protected you the only way she could. Unlocking the files, Maya drew the symbol on the touchscreen. The computer paused. Then, access. Granted. Lines of code filled the screen. Elijah's eyes scanned quickly. It's real, he said. It's all here. Violet Storm isn't a project. It's a fail-safe virus. If someone activates this, it overrides every defense AI. Not just ours, Russia, China, NATO, everything. Why would Kaintek build that? Maya asked. They didn't. Someone inside did, using company resources to create a backdoor into every military system on the planet. He looked at her, deadly serious. If this falls into the wrong hands, we're not talking about cyber war. We're talking collapse. Later, that night. Confession. Maya sat outside the safe house, shivering under the stars. Elijah joined her. You okay? She hesitated. I lied to you. About something. He raised an eyebrow. I didn't just randomly go to that shooting. Range last week, she said. I got a letter, no return address. It said, go to Stallion Creek Range at 4 p.m. You'll find what you're missing. He stiffened. Why didn't you tell me this earlier? I thought it was a prank at first. Then after the shooting, I didn't know who to trust. Elijah stared into the darkness. Someone wanted you there. Someone knew you'd save me. Why? She whispered. Because you're not just a random civilian anymore, Maya. You're the daughter of the woman who tried to shut down the world's most dangerous weapon. And now you're the only one left who might finish the job. Meanwhile, in an unknown location, a man in a dark room leaned back in his chair, watching the last frame of Leanne Emerson's video loop on a cracked monitor. A voice crackled through his earpiece. We lost track of them. He didn't respond. Just swirled a glass of wine, staring at Maya's frozen image on the screen. She's unlocking it, the voice added. We should move now. The man finally spoke. No. Let her do the work. Then we take it from her. His lips curled into a thin smile. She's exactly like her mother. Back at the safe house, the explosion. At 4:13 a.m., the world tilted. The sound was thunderous, metal shrieking, glass shattering, concrete splintering. Maya hit the floor as the safe house door blew inward in a fireball of smoke and sparks. She coughed, ears ringing, eyes burning. Elijah dragged her behind a desk. They found us! Footsteps thundered above, men shouting in code, night vision goggles glowing. "Go through the back exit," Elijah shouted. "Take the drive, I'll hold them off." "No," she screamed. "I'm not leaving you." "Maya, go." He shoved the flash drive into her hand and turned, drawing a compact weapon from his jacket. "Don't die," she shouted. He gave her a faint, tired smile. "You already saved me once. Now return the favor." She sprinted into the dark hallway, smoke stinging her lungs, heart thundering with every step. The woman in the black car. The woman in the black car watched Maya's face closely, eyes sharp like a hawk's. The night air was thick with tension. The distant hum of sirens faded, as if swallowed by the shadows. "I'm not sure if I should trust you," Maya said, voice trembling. The woman's smile didn't waver. "You don't have to trust me yet, but you will want to hear what I have to say." Maya glanced at the flash drive clenched tightly in her fist. It felt heavier now, like a weight of the world. "Who are you?" "Call me Elise." Her voice was calm, but carried a power that made Maya listen. "I worked with your mother. We were partners in the fight against Tech's darkest secrets." Maya's mind raced. The woman who sent the mysterious letter. Could she really have been working with her mother? Or was this another trap? "Why are you here? Why now?" Elise's gaze didn't waver. "Because they're coming for you. And I'm the only one who can protect you." The driver Elise unlocked the car door. "Get in." Maya hesitated but followed, sliding into the passenger seat. The interior smelled faintly of leather and jasmine. The engine purred to life, headlights cutting through the thick fog. As the car pulled away from the alley, Maya stole a glance back at the burning remains of the safe house, still smoldering in the distance. "How did you find me?" Maya asked. Elise's eyes were on the road. "I've been watching you since the shooting range. I knew you'd come for the truth. Your mother and I built a network, people like us who want to stop Tech." Maya swallowed hard. "And what about Elijah? He risked his life for me." Elise's face hardened. "Elijah is complicated. He has his own secrets. Sometimes people aren't who they seem." The word stung. Maya felt a cold doubt settle deep inside her. A safe place. After 20 minutes of winding through back roads, the car stopped at an old farmhouse, hidden by overgrown trees. "Home," Elise said. Maya stepped inside cautiously. The house was simple but fortified. Locks on every window, a small arsenal. In the back room, Elise handed her a mug of tea. "You need to be ready, they'll keep coming." Maya sank into a worn chair. The exhaustion she'd been fighting crashing down. "Tell me everything," she whispered. The truth about Violet Storm. Elise pulled out a folder filled with documents and photos. "Your mother discovered Violet Storm. Wasn't just a weapon, it's a code that can control minds, AI and human alike." Maya's eyes widened. "Mind control? That's impossible." Elise shook her head. "Not with today's technology. The code can hijack military drones, security systems, even manipulate people who use smart devices linked to the network." Maya looked at the photos. Faces of powerful men and women, government officials, CEOs, scientists, all tied to Tech. They want to control the world's population, not with guns, but with technology you can't see. Maya's heart pounded. "But why target me?" "Because you're the key. Your mother embedded a countercode inside the flash drive, a cure. You have the power to stop Violet Storm from activating." Tears welled up. "Why didn't she just tell me?" Elise's eyes softened. "Because she knew Tech's reach was too deep. If you knew too early, you'd have been their first target. A visitor in the night." That night Maya couldn't sleep. The weight of the revelations crushed her. Suddenly, a noise at the window jolted her upright. She peered into the darkness and saw a shadowy figure retreating. Elise rushed in, whispering, "They're watching us. We need to move. Now." Maya grabbed the flash drive and a small bag of essentials. Outside, the cold air bit at her skin. As they hurried to a hidden truck in the woodshed, Maya's phone buzzed. A text message. You're running out of time, Maya. Trust no one. Her hands shook. Who sent this? Elise's face was grim. That I don't know. The chase. The truck roared through dense woods as headlights flickered behind them. Another Kane Tech team, Elise said, checking the rearview mirror. They're relentless. Maya gripped the seat as the truck swerved to avoid fallen branches. And potholes. We can't outrun them forever, she said. Elise nodded. We'll have to outsmart them. They pulled off the main road and into a narrow dirt path. Suddenly the truck jolted. A spike strip. The tires hissed and flattened. Get out, Elise shouted. Gunfire echoed through the trees. Maya's heart pounded as they ducked behind the truck. Elise fired back, providing cover. Maya scrambled for the flash drive. We have to split up. No, Elise said fiercely. Together. Secrets revealed. As they fled deeper into the woods, Maya finally asked what she'd been holding back. Why didn't you come sooner? Elise's voice was heavy with regret. Because I was hiding. Kane Tech found out about me years ago. They destroyed everything. My family, my home. Maya's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. Elise shook her head. No, you're the reason I'm still alive. They slowed as the sounds of pursuit faded. Maya glanced at the flash drive. What's inside could save the world, or end it. Elise smiled faintly. Exactly. Betrayals in the dark. The forest was still, except for the distant echoes of the pursuers retreating. Maya's mind was a whirlwind, the flash drive, the messages, and the cryptic warning about someone she loved being the real enemy. Her heart hammered with dread. Elise's eyes never left her. We can't trust anyone right now, not even Elijah. Maya's fingers tightened around her phone. Elijah, the man who had risked his life for her, who had saved her from the shooting range chaos. Could he really be the enemy? A broken phone and a shattered trust. The moment they reached the safe house again, Maya's phone vibrated with a call from Elijah. She stared at the screen, conflicted. Should I answer? She asked Elise. No. It's a trap, Elise said. But curiosity gnawed at Maya. She swiped accept and put the phone to her ear. Elise, Elijah's voice was shaky but urgent. You need to come home. It's not safe for you there. I can protect you. Maya's chest tightened. Why didn't you tell me the truth about Kane Tech, about Violet Storm? There was a long pause. Then Elijah whispered, Because I'm caught in the middle, Maya. They threatened my family. Maya's eyes stung with betrayal. How much have you been hiding from me? The call ended abruptly. The screen blinked off. Elise shook her head. We need to move. An unexpected. The next morning, a knock came at the door. Maya's heart jumped. Who is it? She whispered. Elise opened it cautiously. A tall man in a worn jacket stepped inside. I'm Tom, he said, your mother's colleague. I've been tracking Kane Tech too. Maya felt a flicker of hope. Tom laid out a map covered in markings. There's a facility not far from here where they're developing Violet Storm's final version. If we can get there, we might stop it, Elise nodded. But it's heavily guarded. Maya glanced at the flash drive. I have the counter code. Tom smiled grimly. Then it's time we take the fight to them. Infiltration plan for 2 days, they prepared. Maya trained with Elise and Tom, learning to move quietly, hack security and stay alert. But every moment her mind wandered to Elijah. Could she really turn her back on him? On the night before their mission, Maya's phone buzzed again. A video. Elijah, looking desperate, whispering, Maya, don't trust Elise, they're using you. Maya's fingers trembled. Could she believe him, or was this another layer of Kane Tech's deception? The facility under the cover of darkness, the trio, approached the high-tech facility, surrounded by razor wire and cameras. Tom pulled out a device. This will disable the cameras for 5 minutes. After that, we're on our own. They slipped through the gate, hearts pounding. Inside, cold fluorescent lights hummed. Maya's breath was shallow as they moved down sterile corridors. Suddenly, alarms blared. Caught in the crossfire. Trap, Elise hissed. Security guards poured in. Tom drew his gun, firing warnings. Maya clutched the flash drive tightly. "We have to split up!" Elise grabbed Maya's arm. "No! Together!" Gunfire echoed. They ducked behind metal crates, breaths ragged, suddenly footsteps and a familiar voice. Elijah. He emerged from the shadows, hands raised. "I'm here to help." A shocking truth. Maya's eyes burned with confusion and anger. "Why?" Elijah's face was torn. "Because Kane Tech forced me. They held my family hostage." Tears spilled down Maya's cheeks. "Why didn't you tell me sooner? I was scared you'd hate me, but I'm done running." Elise looked wary. "Can we trust him?" Before Maya could answer, an explosion shook the building. Debris rained down, escape and revelation. They ran through smoke-filled halls, coughing and disoriented. Outside, they piled into Tom's truck. Elijah looked at Maya. "There's something else. The flash drive. It's only part of the code. Your mother hid the rest elsewhere." Maya's heart sank. "Where?" Elijah hesitated. "In her old cabin, deep in the woods." Maya's hands clenched. "Then that's where we go next." Cliffhanger. As they sped away, Maya's phone lit up with a message from an unknown number. "You're closer than ever, but the real betrayal is yet to come." Maya looked at Elijah and Elise, her mind swirling with doubt. Who could she really trust? The night closed in as their journey took a dangerous turn, and the final battle for the truth loomed, the truth unveiled, from broken to empowered. The cabin sat shrouded in mist, deep in the woods, where Maya's mother once escaped to hide the rest of the countercode. The air was thick with the scent of pine and secrets. Maya's hands trembled as she pushed open the creaking door. Dust floated in shafts of pale morning light. Memories whispered from every corner. "Elise, Elijah, stay alert," she warned. Inside, Maya's eyes scanned every shelf, every drawer. Then, behind a loose panel in the floor, she found it. An old leather-bound journal and a small, worn envelope. Her breath hitched. The Journal of Hidden Truths. Maya sat on the creaky floor, flipping through the journal's pages. Her mother's handwriting spilled out in careful, deliberate strokes. "If you are reading this, my child, it means the storm I feared has come. Violet Storm is not just a project, it's a weapon that could destroy lives and futures. The only way to stop it is to combine the two halves of the code, the digital and the human. Trust no one completely. Trust yourself." Maya's eyes filled with tears. Her mother's warning was clear. But the envelope, what was inside? She carefully opened it, revealing a tiny flash drive, the final code, and a final choice. Elise leaned over her shoulder. "This has to be the missing piece." Elijah looked uncertain. "And if we use it, we might end everything, or unleash something worse." Maya's heart pounded. This was the moment. The betrayal revealed. Suddenly, her phone buzzed with an incoming call. The screen flashed an unknown number. "Answer it," Elise urged. Maya hesitated, then swiped. The voice that answered was cold, menacing. "Did you really think you could outsmart Kane Tech? Your mother's sacrifice was meaningless, and Elijah, he's been with us all along." Maya froze. Elijah's face darkened. "No, it's not true. I never wanted this." But the voice continued, relentless. "Your trust is your weakness. The luxury car outside your house. A message, we are watching." Maya's world crumbled. Had Elijah truly betrayed her, confronting the enemy within? The truth shattered her illusions. "I need to know," Maya whispered. "Elijah, what side are you really on?" Elijah looked at. Her eyes filled with pain and regret. "I was trapped. I never stopped fighting from the inside. You have to believe me." Elise stepped forward. "Then prove it." The final battle together, they devised a plan to upload the full code from both flash drives into Kane Tech's system, shutting down Violet Storm once and for all. The night was tense, every second thick with danger. As Maya keyed in the final, Commands, alarms blared again. "This isn't over," the voice warned over the intercom, but Maya's fingers didn't falter. The screen flashed, "Upload complete. System disabled." Aftermath and healing days. Later, the luxury car that had appeared outside Maya's home was gone. Elijah disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind a note. "I hope you find peace, Maya. You're stronger than you know." Maya stood by the window, the dawn casting a golden glow over her face. She was no longer the frightened woman who had answered a stranger's cry at the shooting range. She was whole. The lesson. From loss to strength, Maya's voice, steady and clear, echoed in her mind. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find who you really are. Betrayal had broken her, secrets had haunted her, but she had survived, and from the ashes she had built a life of truth and courage. Closing scene. The sun rose higher, illuminating the path ahead. Maya stepped outside, the cool morning air filling. Her lungs, her past was behind her, her future uncertain, yes, but hers to shape. And for the first time in a long time, she smiled. The end.